Hey everybody, Steve here from the Otherz Podcast. As you can see, I'm here at home in my BBC ICECREAM closet or freezer, whatever you want to call it. And I get quite a lot of requests through the podcast and through Instagram to show you guys some of the BBC ICECREAM collection that I have. So, while I'm at home with not much else to do, I thought this would be a great opportunity to do so. I'm going to start off in this video by showing off some of the kind of earlier, sort of rarer pieces that I've still got in the collection. You can see some of these in various other articles that have been published online. I'll put a link down in the description somewhere for those so you can read them and see pictures there. But I'll go through some of those pieces one by one here on this video. Feel free to drop a comment, ask any questions, etc. down below, and I'll try and get back to you. So let's get into this and get into the closet. So as you guys can see, I'm filming this here in my office just with my iPhone here and a lav mic stuck to my top, so hopefully this will sound okay. But I thought we'd start with one of probably the rarest piece that I have, and that is a Bathing Ape BBC sample polo shirt. This one is a size XL, as you can see there on the Bape tag. It's an XL, but this comes from obviously the early 2000s where polo shirts, t-shirts, etc. were extremely oversized, let's say. So despite it being an XL, I think if I tried it on, it would probably fit something like a 2 or maybe a 3 XL even. You can see you have the original kind of Bape tags here. We then have the Bape buttoning here as well. But obviously the difference between this Bape polo shirt and many others is this fella here, the BBC Astronaut. Now there aren't many people I know that have this top. I know Philip Leeds has one of these at least. And I'm sure, you know, Pharrell and Nigo and those guys back in the day also had these. I'm not sure if there are any kind of videos or images out there of Pharrell wearing one of these sample ones, but I know he was obviously wearing the black and white ones quite a lot when season 0 first came out. But this is almost the season -1, I guess. So this is kind of where it all started. This BBC embroidering on an actual Bathing Ape polo shirt. Now this one has never been worn. I'm just gonna get inside it here and show you some of obviously the other tags that we've got. It's never been worn. It's still essentially dead stock. And yes, by far, probably the rarest piece that I own. There's nothing in terms of the design of it, as with the season 0 stuff and the early BBC stuff. There's nothing overly special about the design of it. It's a very plain, classic looking black polo shirt. But as I say, this is a rare piece and probably not one that many people will, well, either have seen, let alone own. So that's the first one from the collection. So next up, the season 1 BBC Reverse Arch logo t-shirt. I had to try and remember that name there. This one is in truly awful condition. It's probably my most worn t-shirt. I bought this when it first came out, when it first dropped at the Hideout in London, along with some other bits that I'll show you in a while. This is super worn. It's got, you know, kind of sweat and deodorant stains, and looks even worse in this light as well. But, you know, again, a plain, simple design tee. We've got our BBC Astronaut there, screen printed on the t-shirt. And then if I flip it around, we've got the classic BBC Arch logo there on the back, as opposed to the straight logo version that you could also get as well. They've done these with the Arch and the straight logos on the front of the t-shirts. But this was a season 1 reverse version, so the logo here was on the back of the t-shirt itself. As I say, super worn, this one. You can see the tag starting to come to pieces there, but a much loved and very much worn season 1 t-shirt. So next up, the classic BBC ICECREAM Coneman. There were a few different variants in the colourways with this design, and there have been over the years as well. This has been kind of re-released a few times. But this again is a season 1 item, I want to say. Again, I think purchased from the Hideout in London. Again, a really, really worn t-shirt. Starting to kind of stiffen up in the material here because of the kind of deodorant and stuff that's been in there. We've got some cracking. Some minor cracking on the print here, nothing too massive. But yes, a very worn t-shirt. Again, you can see from the tag, which is not in quite as bad a condition as the other t-shirts. But this is one of my favourite designs. I love this Coneman design. Again, if I turn it around here, you've got the classic ICECREAM print here as well, down in the corner of the t-shirt. Really love this one. Again, lots of wear in it. I don't think it fits me anymore. I think over the years it's kind of shrunk slightly and stretched slightly and stuff like that. But one that I may try and get kind of professionally cleaned at some point and do something with, and maybe even start wearing it again, perhaps, if it's possible to alter it in some way. So now on to another massively worn top of mine. Season 1 Astronaut Head polo shirt. Probably my most worn polo shirt over the years. Again, purchased upon release at the Hideout in London. Simple, plain black polo shirt with the Astronaut Head logo there on the chest. Again, the classic early tags, although this one doesn't have the size tag under here. It has it, I believe, down on one of the kind of inseams here in the sides. I will try and find that briefly. So here we go. So this one is a size large, because obviously back then, you know, polo shirts were a bit sort of bigger fitting. And we've got the very, very washed out and faded original tag and button, spare button there as well. As I say, this is still in fairly good condition overall. Certainly wearable still. Nothing on the back here, just nice and plain. But yeah, certainly still wearable. Again, I don't think this one sort of fits me anymore. But it is a classic shirt. And again, one that I just kind of want to keep hold of. And maybe one day I'll wear again at some point. So now another fairly rare item. Again, an Arch logo that we saw on the reverse t-shirt earlier. But this is actually, again, I think it's a season 1, but it's an all black Tokyo Store Exclusive. There were a few different colorways of this released in the US and perhaps in Europe as well, like at the Hideout and places like that. Including a navy blue one, which does look very, very similar. But this is actually an all black version of the hoodie. And this was actually ordered from, I believe, Pondon back in the day, the kind of famous in the kind of BBC sense of the word, Bape BBC ICECREAM seller. I think, if I remember rightly, they were based in Tokyo or in Japan somewhere, and would get a lot of the exclusive items. Again, this is super worn. It's still in fairly good condition. There is, a small hole up there, I believe. That's probably the only defect in it, I think. Very worn, but again, a personal favourite of mine. What I love about BBC hoodies, underneath the hood here, again, we've got our friend, the astronaut there, although in this case, it does look like he's been in some kind of accident. He seems to be missing half of his face. Again, this part is kind of screen printed on, so that's just come off at some point over the years due to, you know, washing and just general kind of wear and tear, again with the hood here rubbing against it. I don't remember how much I paid for this item. I think I did pay quite a bit for it because it was a Tokyo Store Exclusive, and I did have to have it shipped over from Japan, but I don't remember exactly how much. But again, much loved, much used top. Still in, I would say, generally pretty good condition, still definitely wearable, although it kind of has probably stretched out a little bit over the years. But again, maybe one day I'll get around to wearing it again at some point. Now, no longer season 1 items. I want to say this is a season 3 approximately. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, because I probably am. This is from many years ago, my memory isn't that great. But we've got this innocuous looking green crew neck here. We've got just a very small curve logo here on the chest. We have got the original tag up there, not in bad condition. And I have to say, this top, I've never actually worn it, I don't believe. But as we turn it around, it's the back of it that's definitely more interesting. So we have got the money roll logo on one side, which we obviously saw on the ICECREAM sneaker around this time, and also on various other kind of designs, including, if you look closely, you can see the original BBC Astronaut Head there. But then you have this Billionaire Boys Club script and dollar design here, and obviously this dollar design was kind of quite widely used around this time. We've seen, you may recognise this also from Nigo's custom luggage, maybe it was Goyard luggage that he had done with that dollar design on it, as well as the jewellery he had done. He had the big chain done and pendant with this dollar design made on it. As I say, I don't think I've ever worn this. I purchased this from somebody here in Finland quite a while back. I believe it's an XL. I will dig inside quickly and check our tags. Is indeed an XL. Extremely good condition, especially for the age. The material itself is starting to maybe stiffen up very, very slightly. I think just because of old washes that it had. But generally it's in extremely good condition. I have just noticed there is one small stain, which isn't particularly noticeable in normal light on the arm here. But nothing else particularly visible anywhere else. Great condition, really nice piece. Again, I may wear it at some point in the future, but it's one that I really do just like and like having around, especially because this kind of mint green colourway that it's in as well. So, the piece that I always get asked about, whenever I post a picture about this or I'm wearing it somewhere, it always gets comments, compliments, offers, whatever you want to call it. This is the Saks colourway of the Coneman Crewneck top. You can't really, it looks more blue on screen in this light. If I get a bit closer, you may be able to kind of see it a little bit better perhaps. And again, I don't think this was a season 1. I think this was season 2 or 3 this came out, and it came out in various different colourways. I believe there's black and white. There's a yellow one, which was kind of quite rare at the time as well, which Pharrell was wearing, which had a more colourful Coneman on the front. This Coneman is just in black. You can see here, very, very minor cracking on the kind of screen print, but generally pretty good condition for its age. Very good condition, in fact. This is one that when I first got it, I would wear it occasionally. I wear it a bit more sparingly now, just because of how kind of sought after this top actually is and how much I like it, and I really want to keep it. Again, you've got the ICECREAM logo here on the back corner. But yeah, this is one that if you're a BBC ICECREAM fan and you know a bit about the history, you'll probably recognise this one. And yeah, when I post it in places, most people will comment on it, or people will throw me offers occasionally. It was available a little while back, and I was looking at kind of clearing out some bits and pieces. But since then, I've decided to keep it. But you know, if you have a lot of spare money lying around and you want to make a silly offer, then do feel free. So next up, Season 0, taking it back a little bit here. So one of the original BBC logo caps. There were a few colourways of this, I believe white, brown, and then this kind of greyish sort of colour. I did used to have a brown version of this. I think it was a small size, it never fit. This one here is a medium size and it still doesn't fit particularly well. Obviously, it's not supported in any way in the top of the hat here, so for me at least it really doesn't fit very well at all. As you can see, this still has the tags attached to it as it originally did, so this is essentially dead stock. It has the original BBC tags here, which is what I really miss about BBC stuff. This kind of lace that would hold it on, and there used to be, I don't know if it's in here, yes. You've got another astronaut inside, and in these early pieces, this would normally tell you, if I can get this out, the details. So here we would have, you know, the item code, the colour, the price as well, in dollars, and then you've got your tag there for the item itself. And on the, I believe the later pieces, when they were actually making specific numbers and runs of certain items, that tag would also have number whatever of whatever it is. So again, on the back here we've got the embroidered astronaut, the original BBC logo here, size medium, made in Japan. I think that's the only tagging we have in this. Obviously we've got the BBC mantra on the underside of the hat here. Wealth is of the heart and mind, not the pocket, which you can't really see in this colourway particularly well. I'm try and zoom in here a little bit. So again, a hat that I've never worn, probably never will wear because it's too small. So if anyone out there has this in a large, even one of the other colourways, and they want to swap, please do feel free to get in touch, because as I say, this one is dead stock, everything's still attached, even the original bag with all of the style numbers and everything on it as well. So next up, some early season cargo pants, or trousers as I call them. Diamond and dollar design. Again, there were a couple of colourways of these if I remember rightly. These are in size, I believe they are a large, I want to say. Yep, they're a large. Excuse the shadowing there. No slim fit or anything like that back in the day. These are a real wide leg, very baggy. I've only worn these once or twice in the past. You have to excuse me laying them out here because I don't really have the light or the room set up to have them any other way at the moment. But as you can see, you know, they've got the drawstrings down here on they're almost flared bottoms, really baggy. You've got the kind of cargo pockets here, the back pockets. We've got the astronaut head logo, so I'm thinking these are probably a season 2 or 3 when they started to use this kind of black on white astronaut head logo. You've got these oversized drawstring things here as well to obviously tighten them up a bit more. And then fairly plain and simple on the inside. But again, I've had offers for these in the past, and I may be open to offers in the future. But again, I love the diamond and dollar design. I like the kind of colourway here, this kind of khaki and olive, I guess it is. So these stay in the collection for now. Again, I'll probably never end up wearing them, but you never know. This one's a zip-up hoodie you don't see all that often. Again, I think around a season 3 for this one. So on the front here, we've got this kind of burgundy colour and the BBC Arch logo, which we've already seen on some other items. But what makes this top different is obviously you have this very, well, it looks very bright on camera, bright orange diamond and dollar logo on the inside. Pretty much exactly the same as to what we just saw on the cargo pants. But this hoodie is, well, a couple of things. It's both reversible, so you can switch this around and wear this with the diamonds and dollars on the outside, if you don't mind this tag here sticking out the side of you. But it's also thermal. It's part of a thermal range they released. Again, in a few different colorways. There were also Crewnecks, which were thermal. They did a number of different designs with those over the years. But this is one of the tops I bought, I want to say around 10 years ago. It was actually when I first started coming out to Finland. When my kid was born, I was travelling out here regularly, especially in the winter months. I needed some warmer clothes to wear, basically, and was always kind of on the lookout for original BBC items. And I actually came across this, and with it being thermal and coming over here when it's, you know, minus 20, minus 25 degrees, this was absolutely ideal. So this served me very well for my first couple of years of, you know, visiting out here to Finland quite regularly. And again, because it's reversible, it has these kind of pockets on the inside, or would be the outside if you turned it around. No neck tags, just these tags here, as I say, which would obviously be sticking out if you were wearing this the other way around. You can obviously trim this one off here. You can trim all of them off if you wanted to, but this one obviously shows you that you can kind of cut it off, and you've got this BBC branded tag. I believe there is also an astronaut head on one of the sleeves, I want to say. Yeah, there it is. So again, similar to the cargo pants we saw when they started using this emblem on a lot of the items that were being sold at this point in time. I don't believe we've got anything on the back or anything of interest. No, we've got no additional logos or anything like that on this one. But again, a kind of classic piece, and a piece, you know, to me that has memories, at least when I first used to come out to Finland a lot. So one that I'll keep. Again, don't know if I ever wear it. I think this is a large size. It probably doesn't fit me anymore. I don't know if it actually says here on the tags what the size of this one is. Yeah, so it's I'm guessing that's a large. So yeah, this probably doesn't fit me anymore. This would be a bit too cozy on me now. But again, a piece I will probably end up keeping forever. So an item that I'd actually forgot about and just had to run back into the freezer, into the closet to go and find and to get. This OG leather diamonds and dollars wallet. Again, a few colorways of this made. I can't remember the exact season that these came out. I have actually used this one. I used it for probably a number of months at some point to actually, you know, keep all my cards and money and whatnot in. We've got the gold embossing there. Actually a really sizable wallet, even a money pouch. There's a few kind of small marks on here. As I say, it's been used very slightly, so just around the edges the leather has kind of a small amount of use, but really, really good condition again for the age of it. Not many of these are made, if I remember correctly. This is one that definitely gets kind of comments and looks if I use it, including when I've been to the BBC store in London at least, where people there hadn't actually even seen these before. I don't actually carry a wallet anymore. I actually use a BBC diamond and dollar card holder, leather card holder, a red one from the New York store. So I don't carry a wallet anymore, so I don't really have a use for this. But even if I did, I have quite small hands, but That is a sizable wallet. That is a huge wallet. You open that right up, and that is, you know, bigger than my hand. So certainly a hefty piece of leather there, but a really well made, really well constructed wallet. I do have some of the newer ones that BBC EU put out last year when they did the original kind of couple of versions. I got the gold version of both a wallet, a zip up wallet and a card holder. I may show them at some point in another future video, but for now, another classic BBC OG item. And on to the final piece for now, my favourite piece in fact, this striped polo shirt in, I guess, what we would call the watermelon kind of colourway flavour nowadays. This was again a very early release, one of the first kind of couple of seasons. Again, I picked one up at the Hideout in London when it first came out, so it probably was season 1, season 2. I remember wearing this to New York, my first trip there, just after the BBC had first come out, but before they actually had a store in New York at all. That original one that I had was actually kind of went missing when I moved back to the UK from Australia many years ago. So this one I kind of reacquired maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, I want to say. I paid a lot of money for it, but I found it in my size, completely dead stock. It's only been taken out of the bag to be photographed. It's never been worn. Obviously has all the original tags and whatnot with it, and I'm not going to take it out of the bag now either. You can see on this one the prices here are actually in yen, so this may have actually come from Japan as opposed to being one that came out in the US or the UK. At least the tagging indicates that, or it may just have tags that shipped from Japan. So yeah, this is I have to say, this is probably one of my favourite BBC pieces that I own. I had to pay quite a lot to get this back, but to me it was kind of, you know, money well spent. I love the colourway. I love the design of it. You can't see, or you can just see it here. You can see obviously the running dog that we've got here on the chest for the logo. You've got the OG BBC tags up there for it. And like I say, you know, you still got the kind of tissue paper in here from when it was sold originally, and all those original tags as well. So this is most definitely one of my favourite pieces, if not my favourite piece. And this one is one that I do want to wear, but I need to find the right occasion, the right time and place to wear it. But I will undead stock it one day, because this is one item that I will probably never sell. If you made it this far, thanks very much. Thanks for watching. Please leave any comments or questions or requests down in the comment section below. If you want to see some more of these videos with other stuff from in here, then again, you know, drop me any comments of stuff that you'd like to see, or any kind of information that you'd like potentially. Give us a like, give us a subscribe if you can. Also head over and check out the podcast for more Neptunes, NERD, Pharrell, BBC ICECREAM, Adidas, latest news, all that stuff. You can go over to the Otherz.net, Others with a Z, or just head over to your podcast app that you use, or Spotify, and look up Otherz Podcast. So that's it from me for this time. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.